Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Ozzy, and once again, thank you for watching my YouTube video. Once again, another police shooting in Missouri. This time it was an off-duty police officer in the Shaw neighborhood. It's about 10 miles from St. Louis. This officer was actually, like I said, off-duty. He was patrolling that neighborhood where he approached three young black males, and at that time they were running away from him. He began chase, and he was chasing after this one individual black male, and he was pulling at his waistband, according to this police officer, kind of like he had a gun in his waist. At that time, the police according to this police officer, did not shoot. Then he waited to see if he can actually see a gun. So later on, as he was giving chase, this 18-year-old by the name of Bonderick Myers pulled a 9mm Ruger from his waistband and began shooting at this police officer. According to the police chief there, the teenager shot at the officer 3 times, missing the officer. The officer then fired back 17 times at this 18-year-old Mr. Myers, and of course this teenager died from his wounds. Now, they didn't say where he was shot, how many times he was shot. Like I said, I just heard about this today, and was doing a little bit more research about it, and so that's what the police chief came out and said, was what happened. And after that shooting happened, a lot of people were, of course, pissed off. This comes 2 months after the Michael Brown shooting in Ferguson, Missouri. So of course the tensions there are still high, and so of course these protesters were actually destroying police units, cars and stuff like that, and they were saying obscenities to the police officers. Very upset about this incident, and it kind of resembles the Michael Brown case. And of course, if we're all familiar with the Michael Brown case, Michael Brown was actually unarmed, except for Mr. Myers. In this case, he actually the police said they recovered a 9mm there at the scene. And according to Mr. Myers' mother, she said that he did not have a gun, that in fact he had a sandwich in his hand. So we kind of have totally different stories, the police side and their side. Like I said, this is a new investigation. Nothing further has come out on it. Like I said, there was vandalism against the police department's vehicles and things like that. And like I said, tensions are still high in Ferguson, Missouri, and I can't blame them for being upset. Now, like I said in my previous video with the Ferguson, Missouri case, I don't condone violence against police officers. There's a better way of handling situations like that, like protesting and things like that. But like I said, as we saw with Ferguson, Missouri, when the police officers were actually shooting and firing flashbangs and tear gas at protesters. So, we'll see what happens in this case in the St. Louis area. The officer's name was not released in this interview. So like I said, there's still a lot more to find out. How many times he was shot, if there's any video evidence, any more witnesses that are going to come forward to either corroborate the story of the mother or this police officer. So like I said, we'll find out more details. But like I said, I am going to put down a link in the description. If you're not aware of this, go ahead, like I said, hit that like button, comment below what you guys think. It's just a sad situation all around, and I know I've read comments on Facebook and Twitter and things like that. I've actually asked people about this subject, and I always get a lot of people saying, just black people want to start stuff. They're always bringing up race. They're always, things like that. But what we got to understand is that back in the day when there was slavery, that happened. The African Americans were slaves. There were genocide during the slavery time, and we can't forget that as Americans. America has a black eye, and we cannot forget that as a people. I think what needs to happen as blacks, whites, Hispanics, and so forth, as people, we all need to get together and accept what happened. to African Americans, to Latinos, to Chinese, to all races in American history. And we all need to accept that and embrace and say, hey, this happened. Let's move forward from this. Stop hating on each other because of skin color. I think we're better than that. And, with all this violence that's going on, what needs to happen? There needs to, a lot of people has asked, is there going to be racial tensions? Is there going to be a race war and things like that? In my opinion, there is going to be a revolution. And it's not going to be a revolution of gun violence, killing everybody, killing each other. It's going to be a revolution of the mind. I'm already doing it. I'm already, like just what I said, we all need to take that step further and say, hey, you know what? Regardless of skin color, we're all human beings regardless of it. So I think, it's a revolution of the mind that's going to happen, not necessarily a revolution of another civil war and things like that. That's what we need to do as a people, is really think about it and come together and accept America's dark past and acknowledge that it actually happened. Don't just throw it away and say, oh, that happened 100, 200 years ago, and just brush it off. No, we need to accept it, because then we need to understand it. Because if you don't understand what happened during slavery, you're endangering me, you're endangering other people of making that same mistake. So we need to always remember that, because if we don't remember, we will repeat history. So I think if we do that as a people and come together and stop hating each other for the past, we can be better for it. But until then, I think we're gonna have a lot of situations like this in St. Louis, like in Ferguson, Missouri, and if things continue this way, it's gonna happen, but like I said, we all do need to come together as people. Not just as Hispanics and blacks and whites and Asians and stuff. We need to come together as a people and heal each other and move forward from this. And but until then, things are going to happen like this because they are upset. There's no justice being done, and justice needs to be done. And I hope something comes out of this. And the positive thing that I saw from this was the police chief there in St. Louis, and like I said, in the Shaw District, he allowed protesters to protest. He diverted traffic from that street and allow these people to voice their opinions. So that's one thing that I did take out of this. That was a good thing. Of course, a person was killed, so that's not a good thing. But as far as the aftermath of this, it wasn't another Ferguson, Missouri, where, like I said, police were shooting at protesters and things like that. This police chief actually let the people protest in peace and speak their minds. So we'll see what happens after this. Like I said, it's already been almost 2 months after the Michael Brown case. No charges have been brought up on this police officer. So we're still looking to see what happens with that. And of course with this shooting here in the Shaw District, 10 miles from St. Louis. So like I said, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, comment below what you think, and I'll update you as soon as I get more information. Thanks.